US pressure don't make Tinubu government dey confused on the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and as it stands right now, Nnamdi Kanu go dey go back to Kenya or London where we say where im base because of the pressure US don't put for Tinubu body. Right now, Tinubu dey try to play safe so that it no go affect im political career, because as it stands right now, he might lose 2027 election based on Southeast and with the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So he's trying to play safe. I go want you just pay attention. Watch this video under. Share this video to everyone. Watch it from the starting to the end. A lot of things, a lot of discussion that they go round about this Nnamdi Kanu release and where Nnamdi Kanu should go next. You understand? Because Tinubu won't just come out everything for in hand, may just play safe. So everything where they go on now for him to play safe. So pay attention, watch this video from the starting to the end. Drop your opinion at the comment section and make sure you share this video to everyone on every social media platform and write freedom for Nnamdi Kanu and freedom for the people of Biafra. Share this video right now so that you no go forget. Now the only way on if you take encourage support us and click the subscribe button for more updates.
Do you think it is better for the federal government of Nigeria to send Nnamdi Kanu back to Kenya where they picked him, or to send him back to London where he based, or to release him here in Nigeria? Which one do you think is better? Drop your comment in the comment section. But then, I know a lot of us will say, oh, it is better they release him here in Nigeria. But I'm very sure that most of us has forgotten that on the 27th day of June 2025, the Kenyan court awarded Nnamdi Kanu the sum of 10 million shilling. Yes, over the violation of his right. So if Nnamdi Kanu should touch down in Kenya now, he will just enter their court and collect this money, 10 million shillings. Oh yes, so after taking all this, tell me which one do you think is better, to send him back to Kenya or to release him here in Nigeria? Well, today we receive a very good news. Honestly speaking, I was pleased when I saw this news because, you know, it gave me that courage that yes, some people are still speaking up, honestly speaking. Well, some traditional rulers, some Igbes, some Ezes, some Monarchs, both from Southeast and from Southwest, went to Abuja today to see the president. And when they got there, one of the Monarchs, one of the Igbes from Southeast, stood up and told the president that, Baba, please, if you want peace in the Southeast, go and release Nnamdi Kanu. One of the Monarchs told Tinubu this one-on-one. Go and release him if you want peace in the Southeast. Oh yes, I'm going to play the video for you. But before I play the video for you, I'm going to, read it and tell you who the monarch is and, the things he said after that. Now, let's see the news as it goes. According to this news, it says, release Nnamdi Kanu or return him to Kenya, Southeast monarch tells Tinubu. You read here, he told Tinubu not just to release him. If you don't want to release him in Nigeria, send him back to Kenya where you picked him. Of course, this news was published today, being the 17th day of February 2026. Now, let's look at the news to see who is this monarch. Who is he? All right. So, from this news, it says, a traditional ruler from the Southeast on Tuesday urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to release the convicted leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, or return him to Kenya where he was arrested, warning that his continued detention was fueling agitation among youths in the Southeast, that he should return Nnamdi Kanu or release him. All right. The monarch, Dr. Lawrence Agubuzu, the Eze Ogbunechendu of Ezama Olo Kingdom, made the appeal during the 2026 National Traditional and Religious Leaders Summit on Health held at the State House Conference Center, Abuja. All right. So they went to Abuja. Okay. Bring this man out. If we don't want him in Nigeria, return him to Kenya or London where they took him from. This is what the monarch told Tinubu. Release him or return him to Kenya or to London where una for carry him. All right? Please do something about this. We cannot make progress in this country if we don't tell ourselves the truth. Agubuzu told the president. He told Tinubu this one-on-one. All right? So the next thing, the summit themed the role of traditional and religious leaders in advancing the Nigerian health sector renewal investment initiative, was convened to deepen community engagement in health sector reforms. It also featured the signing of a compact by traditional and religious leaders committing to champion healthcare delivery within their domains. Okay, so the event they went for was actually for health issues, all right? All right. So, however, the event took an unexpected turn during goodwill messages when Agubuzu pressed the president on Kanu's fate. All right. I must tell you, Mr. President. Did you hear? I must tell you, Mr. President. So he was talking to Tinubu one on one, face to face. That personally, I don't feel very happy because you were not here in the morning when the Oni of Ife gave the opening remarks and was encouraging us to work as one, he said. He was telling Tinubu that you were not here in the morning. Probably Tinubu came late, that occasion. So he was telling Tinubu that he was not here in the morning when the Oni of Ife told them to, work together as one. All right. So let's see the next thing it said. According to this news, it says, all right, the Enugu-based monarch, the monarch is from Enugu. The Enugu-based monarch questioned the sincerity of unity message, alleging that the same royal fathers was arranging to confer a high traditional honor on Yoruba national activist Sunday Igboho, whom he described as Kanu's counterpart in the southwest. Of course, you know that Sunday Igboho is in Nigeria and they want to give him a traditional honor. Sunday Igboho, they have cancelled his name in all the blacklist. He's now a free man. In fact, they want to, confer him a traditional honor. So this man, this monarch from Enugu, is telling them that Sunday Igboho is doing the same thing. Today, you want to give him a traditional honor, but our own son, you send him to life imprisonment. Is that fair? All right? The ball is in your court. Bring this man out. Okanawea, he was still telling him, bring this man out. If we don't want him in Nigeria, return him to Kenya or London, where they took him from, he added. All right? The monarch warned of growing restlessness among Southeast youth, saying traditional rulers were losing credibility over the unresolved Kanu issues. Of course, the monarch was telling Tinubu that, Oga, we the traditionalists, we the king, we are losing our credibility over Kanu's issue. Some people are saying that we are not doing anything, of which it seems they are not doing anything. Some of us here are being asked to go and work, but the young people in the southeast are so agitated they can even beat us. He was telling Tinubu that this young youth in the southeast, they will beat us if we don't do anything about Nnamdi Kanu. That is why I'm telling you to release him. Okay? They see us as sellouts. We come to Abuja, they may think we come to collect money, and then we keep quiet, he said. He said that, of course, the youth, once they go to Abuja like this, the youth will see them as if they have gone to Abuja to collect money. Kanu, 58, a British Nigerian activist and founder of the proscribed IPOB, has been at the center of one of the Nigerians' most protracted and political sensitive legal battles. All right? He was first arrested in Lagos in October 2015 for treasonable felony over his separatist broadcast on Radio Biafra. He was arraigned at the Federal High Court in Abuja and detained for over a year before Justice Binta Nyako granted him bail in April 2017 on health grounds. All right. Following a military raid in his Afaruku Umuahia home during Operation Python Dance 2 in September 2017, Kanu fled the country. The court subsequently revoked his bail, and the federal government proscribed IPOB as a terrorist organization. Now, where would they see them now? To proscribe IPOB. Meanwhile, there are other groups that is committing mayhem in the land. They have not proscribed them. In June 2021, the federal government announced his rearrest and return to Nigeria from Kenya, a move his legal team described as extraordinary rendition. All right. In October 2022, the Court of Appeal discharged him and ordered his release, ruling that the rendition invalidated the charges. However, the Supreme Court overturned that decision in December 2023 and directed that he stand trial at the Federal High Court. Somebody that has been, discharged, the Supreme Court say that is going to stand trial. All right. finally says, on November 20, 2025, Justice James Omotosho found Kanu guilty on 7 terrorism-related counts and sentenced him to life imprisonment alongside concurrent prison terms on other counts. He was later transferred to the Sokoto Correctional Center. All right, so finally it says, meanwhile, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Palit, described the summit as the first comprehensive engagement with traditional and religious leaders since health sector reforms began over 2 years. So this summit that these monarchs went for today started 2 years ago. All right. Goodwill messages were delivered by representatives of the World Health Organization and World Bank, as well as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Health. All right, so this is how it went down today. Of course, I really want to thank this monarch that spoke out, that told Tinubu this. I don't know if other monarchs, because I'm very sure if other monarchs spoke this way, this Igwe spoke, I'm very sure that that it will make more, it will hold more ground. But some of them, they will not speak. They will just go there so that they won't dirty their names. So we really want to say thank you to this monarch that made this speech. Of course, Nnamdi Kanu, we are very hopeful and very optimistic that very soon he will gain his freedom by the grace of Almighty God. Oh yes. Now I'm going to allow you to watch a video now, a very interesting video that you wouldn't want to miss. So listen to them, then you do well to drop your comment in the comment section what you think. But don't forget my question. Which one do you think is better? To release him here in Nigeria, to send him back to Kenya, or to send him back to London? Which one do you think is the better? Now, listen to this news, please.
Let me put this perspective very straight. Nnamdi Kanu has not been convicted of any crime of terrorism or for terrorism in Nigeria by any Nigerian court. He has also not been convicted by any foreign court for terrorism. So it will be sad and uncharitable when he begins to describe him as a terrorist. The administration which that young man said, that is the Buhari administration, when a number of elders from the southeast and where many Nigerians were appealing to Buhari to release Nnamdi Kanu, he made a statement. He said that let the judiciary and the courts decide Nnamdi Kanu's fate. That was Buhari, late Buhari. Now, during this time, the judiciary decided the fate of Nnamdi Kanu. The rule of law decided the fate of Nnamdi Kanu. For instance, Umuahia Federal High Court gave a verdict in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. The Court of Appeal affirmed another decision favoring Nnamdi Kanu and asking that he be released. That is extraordinary rendition from Kenya or anywhere to Nigeria was illegal. And based on that he should be released. The ECOWAS courts also added their voices. The United Nations People's Court also added their voices. African Charter of Human Rights also added their voices. These are, organs and institutions that enhances the rule of law. Buhari never heeded such calls, as the case may be. Now, for the former PA or assistant to not term Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist, that you cannot, it's like it's forcing on Nnamdi Kanu a fair to comply. And he has already found him guilty, even when the Nigerian court has found him guilty. That is something I cannot really begin to understand. And for him to now compare the situation of Nnamdi Kanu to Boko Haram, you see, it's sickening and nauseating. Because the Boko Haram variant of terrorism is akin to that of Al-Qaeda. We don't really know rather than the religious, philosophy struggle that they are into, whether they are into economic or I don't think so. Nnamdi Kanu is not in that Qaeda. So it is a misconception, an uncharitable word for that man to now compare both situations. That Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist. I really cannot fathom it out. It's so sad. Now, even as it is, IPOB that was prescribed, there are matters in court about the prescription of IPOB. Until and unless those matters are decided in court, it cannot be said or said, legally speaking, that IPOB is a prescribed organization. I'm not trying to, maybe support them as the case may be, but let us follow legalists and what the legal, authorities have said in Nigeria here. So it's unfortunate. And now coming to what Femi Falana has advocated, that let this be settled out of the courtroom. I quite agree with, Femi Falana's, assertion and postulation on the release that a political solution will be the best way to resolve this Nnamdi Kanu. Stop this particular court, whatever that we have. The AG of the Federation has powers under the Constitution to continue, discontinue, as the case may be. Even when trials continue, he has the right to do that. You can do it, one up, use those kind of verbs open to you and the government, and let's see if we can come to a round table and do what? Negotiate. I am saying this finally, not because of the fact that I am putting pressure on the government, or maybe I'm trying to echo views of others that are just within Nigeria here. In Turkey, there's a particular man, a young man called Abdallah Öcalan. It's the same situation he found himself in Turkey. The PKK, etc., as the case may be. He's their leader. Unfortunately, he was also extradited from Kenya, this same Kenya, to Turkey. The same way Nnamdi Kanu was, extradited back to Nigeria. A lot of things went under the ground. He's still there for close to 2 decades in detention. But right now, as I speak with you, the PKK, under the leadership of Abdallah Öcalan and the Turkish government, have found out that the courts may not be able to solve this problem. So let us see if we can get a political solution. And that is why he told, when he saw the genuineness of the aspirations of government, he gathered his followers and said that we have used all means to achieve what we want, violent ones for that matter. They have not worked. Now is the time for ideas to speak. Let us see and negotiate with government for my release and see how PKK and my own agitations, can be cubicle into these particular negotiations. And there's already peace in that area of Turkey today. I ask that the Öcalan situation should be adopted in Nnamdi Kanu situation. Let government leave this, their egotistic pride, and begin to come and negotiate, or maybe talk with Nnamdi Kanu. That's my opinion.
All right, and thank you very much.
Let political solution be used.
All right, then,
not legal.
Thank you very much, Barrister Steve Adams.
In all these circumstances, has Nnamdi Kanu done anything that is almost 1% of what is going on in the rest of the country? Apart from occasional stops and gyration. Tell me what is happening in the Southeast. In fact, the Southeast might be the most peaceful place. Apart from this occasional stuff of people kidnapping one thing or the other. And they do it as a result of, protests on Nnamdi Kanu. There's a pretext to commit crime because Nnamdi Kanu is held. If this was a fairly intelligent government, if they release Nnamdi Kanu today, there will be 95% peace in the Southeast. And that will affect the rest of the country. Of all these governors, only Soludo of Anambra said had gone to DSS once to see him, if I'm not wrong, about a year or 2 years ago. He's gone there to see him, And after that, maybe his colleagues advised him not to get involved. Why are they afraid? The young man is very popular in the Southeast. Let me not extend it to the rest of the country. If Nnamdi Kanu comes out today, Igbos will do 90% of what he tells them to do. To the interest, not just in Igbo interest, but Nigerian interest. Because what have they spoken about in the past? Mistreatment of his people. And if there is continuous and the rest of the country don't want the Igbos, then let them allow them go. This is the summary of what he's saying. How can you can't be shorter than me and be taller than me at the same time? This is the summary of Nnamdi Kanu's theory. So he didn't start today. Hazurike has done the same thing. There's so many other people. It was the concept of Odumegwu Ojukwu himself. If you don't want your people, then let them go. And as when people talk of let them go, it appears we are packing our luggage and going. Look at the contiguity. Look at Nsukka and Benue. There's no place anybody is going. It's the same country.
You know, the same marketing, the same, so much of intermarriages has taken place. All we're saying that there is no governance. The summary is that there is no governance. That's what is causing all the problem. The problem of corruption has become both phenotypically and genotypically specific. That's not, it's a genetic problem now. And it is that crisis that government is not even ashamed that they said 139 million Nigerians very poor in a country of plenty. And my president junket to Paris, from there to what is it called, to Dubai. I have never seen a group of people that are shameless. In a country, 774 local governments, I challenge them. Let them tell you where water is running. Where water? So people are dying because of waterborne diseases, and they don't care. And it's even more, like I was saying before we started this, if these governors were sons of Ahmadu Bello, or M.I. Okpara, or Azikiwe, or Awolowo, they will say, oh, they had determined their future. They are coming from a position, a background of wealth. But tell me which of these governors not coming from a very poor environment? Most of them, their parents have never been heard of. Most of them, when you hear the history of how they managed to go to secondary school, and finally God bless them, they become governors. So what they are paying back to society is stealing up money. I was telling somebody this morning who confronted me, Dan, what do we do? What do we do? Lead a democratic revolution. I said, I don't have the resources. I can't. I've been in PDP, not even director, because I won't comply with what they said. Yesterday we had a National Reconciliation Committee meeting. Out of 25 members, only 8 were there. So it means that part of those who have joined APC, a majority are coming out from PDP. So going to APC, what is the fundamental, reason why you go to it? Because if you're moving from A to B, B must be better than A. So what has APC done that should be exciting to anybody to want to leave PDP? Because PDP has a track record under Obasanjo. There was debt relief that saved millions of lives in this country. Since then, what has happened? 8 years of Muhammad Buhari was a disaster in this country. I said it on this channel and other channels, even when he was in government. It was a disaster. There was no governance. And this president, when he was campaigning, said he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. He's now seen the true nature of where Buhari stopped. How beautiful where Buhari stopped is for the rest of the country. Isn't that a tragedy? In 21st century Nigeria, with everything God has given us, we don't know where we are beginning and where. If you don't know where you're starting, how do you know where you're going? And we take it as a matter of routine. Nothing is going. It's in our case, they say, let's leave it for God. So we are the only people God created. If we decide to be foolish, then He will be foolish with us. That is still a battle of the continuation of Nigerian civil war. The war has not ended. I think it was on China's TV. They had an interview. Like I said, the day Nnamdi Kanu is released is the end of the Nigerian civil war. And that will be the day the Southeast starts being integrated into the rest of the country. Look at insecurity everywhere. So is this government enjoying insecurity? That their citizens are being killed? Like you were saying something earlier on. Why are our governors in the South not interested? Because the boy will overwhelm everybody. It will be an M.I. Okpara. You know, the people worship the name Nnamdi Kanu in the Southeast. Because he represents the summary of their struggle from before the Civil War, and thereafter. That's how they look at him. You know? I have stopped going to court because each time I come to court to join him, both of us start crying. And I feel very emotional about it. You know? He's a very brilliant young man that this government is wasting. Would have been a benefit for the rest of us in this country, but this is where we are. This is where we are.
I want to start by commending the people of Southeast, the Igbo people, for listening to us yesterday. We are calling inside the courts, calling from courts, chatting that nobody should take laws into their hands because 80%, if not 90% of the people of Southeast, the Igbos, they are with Nnamdi Kanu. They know that Nnamdi Kanu is not a criminal, is not a terrorist. I want to commend them. That one is on that. Then secondly, Dr. Bat, you said that you know all that transpired yesterday. I beg to disagree. You don't know all that transpired yesterday. Because what you people, just like Vimbai commended the judiciary for allowing to stream the judgment live. Now you ask yourself, what stopped the judiciary from streaming the trial live so that people will understand what happened. But that one is a different ballgame.
Just a moment. Just a moment. I didn't say that I know what transpired. I was not in the court. When did I say I know all that transpired yesterday?
Okay.
I just asked you to react to what happened yesterday. I didn't say so.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I was not in open court.
Sorry,
I would have known.
I withdraw it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Now, I also want to join, I want to call all well-meaning Nigerians to join hands into this matter so that the Court of Appeal will set aside this judgment. Doctor, but I want to tell you that as at yesterday, when the judgment was given, there in America, where our delegates were facing the U.S. Congress, one of the congressmen now raised this issue. He narrated the kind of injustice Nnamdi Kanu have suffered in the hands of Nigeria, as if the man is a Nigerian. So most of the times when you are talking, these people get information more than you. Let me just start by saying that Nnamdi Kanu has suffered the highest injustice any other person can suffer in the whole world, here in Nigeria, in his own country. One, he was enjoying his bail. Government, the prosecutor, who is prosecuting him, went to his house in Afaruku, unprovoked, and they killed 38 persons and left with 13 corpses as we speak. As we are talking about, as a result of that, he lost the parents. Now, as if that one is not enough, Nnamdi Kanu ran away and deposed affidavits from Israel. My Lord, I'm in Israel. Look at the circumstances that made me to run away. The affidavits who have it is in the court file. Please, if my Lord can guarantee my security, I will come back to face my trial. While that one was on, he was unlawfully brought back to Nigeria here. And the United Nations, through their special rapporteur, gave a decision saying that Nnamdi Kanu never is not a terrorist, Nnamdi Kanu never jumped bail, that as a matter of urgency, that Nigeria should release Nnamdi Kanu. They refused that judgment. Federal High Court in Umuahia look at all the whole matters we filed, and they said that Nnamdi Kanu should be released, and that federal government should pay Nnamdi Kanu 50 billion naira. As we speak to you, the federal government has not complied with that judgment. The same thing applied to Enugu High Court and what have you. I'm not talking about that of Kenya. Coming back to Nigeria here, we continue with the trial. Then Court of Appeal unanimously discharged Nnamdi Kanu, and they said that no court should try Nnamdi Kanu. Federal government refused to comply with that order, and they kept Nnamdi Kanu unlawfully for 9 days before they now file what they call motion for stay in a criminal matter, the first in history. Now, when they filed the motion for stay, the matter gets to Supreme Court. Supreme Court, in looking at all these things, Supreme Court made an decision. One, that Nnamdi Kanu never jumped bail. The court ought not have revoked his bail. And they condemned the attitude of military, sending Operation Python dance in his house and massacred many people there.
All right.
And they directed the Federal High Court, let me finish, let me make this submission, and they referred the matter back to Federal High Court to continue with the trial, with the intention that the matter will continue with the Honorable Justice Binta Nyako's court. So when we get there, Binta Nyako now recused himself. The matter now get back to Justice Omotosho. Nnamdi Kanu took a fresh plea. That plea Nnamdi Kanu took before Justice Binta Nyako is no longer effective. He now took a plea, a fresh plea, in a fresh court, starting de novo.
Okay.
Now that was where the issue of repealed law comes in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for breaking it down for us this morning.
Well, as it stands right now, the government know very clearly where say Nnamdi Kanu dey innocent. The truth of everything why they no want release and they don't see say it go affect their own political interest. It go affect everything where they benefit from Nigeria. Because Nnamdi Kanu na one of the people waiting for this country where we say they always speak the truth. I don't see any man will get integrity reach Nnamdi Kanu. That's one of the reasons why they no want release him. You know, when person they get integrity and in the truthful, and nothing will be say he go do will be say people go just like him. It's just few people will be say understand waiting in they do with his side them. Government don't talk say they no get strength to do this, they no get strength to do road. from their body language, even though say they don't talk now, from their body language, you go understand say since they no want do so many things we be say Mazen and the Kalu don't listed, why can't they just grant Biafra, make Biafra go? You keep somebody for detention, somebody will get family, and you do not even think of his emotional feelings. But yeah, if na say na people will be say they be terrorists, or people will be say they kidnap people up and down, una go just put them, release them, tell them say na presidential pardon. Why can't you give presidential pardon to an innocent man who will say no do anything? But you don't see say, and some people where they even blame now the governors of Southeast. If na say they could just make a declaration say, waiting we go pursue now how to release Mazen and the Kalu. But they don't say waiting did they benefit. Either say Mazen and the Kalu go make them, they no go come out for next time, or if they do any evil, you go talk them. Now the thing is a shameful thing. But I just pray say one day Biafra will come. There's a destiny that must be fulfilled. No matter how they try to thwart the movement, no matter how they try to say all manner of things, no matter how they try to sabotage the movement, I know say is a destiny that must be fulfilled. So I'm not going to just talk much. I go allow one to share this video to everyone on every social media platform so they go see what thing they go on, and don't forget to click the subscribe button for more updates. Thank you.